Hi. Today I have Pyeongchang a Korean newspaper, for 29th of August, and today I'm going to talk about a column written by Jeon Woo-young, who is a historian, and the title of the column is 고령시대, which means the age of seniors or the age of aging. The column is right here at the last page of the newspaper. And this historian talks about seniors because these days in Korea, in the Korean society, there's a growing number of senior citizens, and which is global phenomenon. But it is more pronounced in the Korean society because there's more and more number of senior citizens these days. The column starts with a government institution which existed in the Joseon Dynasty. Joseon Dynasty was a middle-age dynasty, government regimes back in the days before Japan, the Imperial Japan occupied Korea. So that existed before the 20th century, and the Joseon Dynasty ended when Japan invaded and occupied Korea. In the beginning of the 20th century. So the name of the government institution that this historian talks about is Giroso. And Giroso existed since the beginning of the Joseon Dynasty. The beginning of the Joseon Dynasty was, I think, 15th century, 14th century. It goes back to that old. Since the beginning of the Joseon Dynasty until 1909, there was a government institution called Giroso. And at Giroso, the tasks were simple for the officers employed at Giroso. The officers created the list of the government officials, and they were in charge of organizing and holding various government events. So it was relatively minor tasks. However, the officers at Giroso, that government institution, were highly regarded, and a lot of public officers were said to take honor in becoming members of Giroso, and the officers at Giroso were considered to be among the highest rank within the Joseon government. So, one of the requirements to become a member of Giroso was that you must be over 70 years old. So you must be over 70 to become a member, and that is a minimum requirement, which is kind of peculiar in today's standard. You need to be over 70 years old to become a member of a government branch. But in Joseon Dynasty, Giroso was something like that. So, in the past, in the Middle Age, in the Joseon society, the senior citizens were treated very differently than the senior citizens in today's Korea. Once you turn 60 years old, and the regular males were exempt of the military duty and the manual labor duties. So there was, for normal people, not the highest ranked people, 양반 were about 1 to 2% of the entire population, and they were the noble class. Can I say noble class? They were the higher class, and they did not bear the military duty and hard labor duty. But other than that, 99%, 98% of the regular people, they had the military duty and the mandatory labor duties in the Joseon Dynasty. I guess it really sucks. So the Korean society in the Middle Age was slave society. So there were 양반, so-called the higher ranked people, and the rest of the population were slaves, which is not good. So once you turn 60, no matter what class you belong to, you're exempt from the military and mandatory labor duties. And even slaves, when they turn 80, they were granted a higher status, not like high status, but they're considered to be very low-ranked people. But once they turn 80, they're not considered to be that low anymore. And in the Korean society, in the Middle Age, the Korean society, once you become a senior citizen, then you are exempt from various duties from the government. And also in your family and in your town, you had the right to give advices to the younger people. And back in the days, it's a rural society. The Korean society is rural, and your experiences and your knowledge don't become obsolete that easily. These days, you have computer, and then the next day you have mobile devices, and you have newer technologies coming out pretty much every single year, and your knowledge and experiences become obsolete very quickly. But that was not the case in the Middle Age Korean society. I guess it's kind of the same anywhere in the world in the Middle Age. So the writer of this column keeps on saying that today's senior citizens do not really have most of the benefits that their counterparts had in the Middle Age. They had a longer expected longevity. Except for that, they don't have anything. So recently he talks about, he gives an episode that there was a company who was recruiting senior citizens for the security guards for the building. And then they offered 2,000 won per hour as an hourly wage. And 2,000 won per hour is less than $2, so which is something like $1.80, $1.75, something like that per hour. And today's the minimum wage for 2018 would be 7,500 won, over 7,000 won. And this company was offering only 2,000 won per hour for senior citizens. So you can see that today's Korean society does not really value senior citizens' experiences and their knowledge. So, and even in the Korean society, even the children do not want to desire the upbringing or the taking care of the senior citizens, their parents or grandparents, and which is a problem. And now the Korean society is aging really fast, and now there's a growing proportion of the population are senior citizens, and yes, the proportion is larger than ever. So this historian talks about that, and the title of the column was "The Age of Senior Citizens," which is on the 29th of August, Pyongyang Sinmun op-ed column on page 29. Thank you.